We begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We begin by praising Him and by glorifying Him as we ought to praise and glorify Him. Indeed, everything that's in the heavens and the earth, everything that is within our experience and that is beyond our experience, everything that is seen and everything that is unseen, it's all in a state of glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, يُسَبِّحُ لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. That everything in the heavens and everything in the earth is making tasbih of Allah, is glorifying Allah. And so we also begin by praising and glorifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now as we're going through life, many of us have reached the age we have a certain understanding now that this world is governed by laws. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, سُنَّةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي قَدْ خَلَتْ مِنْ قَبْلِ. That these are the sunnahs of Allah. This is the way Allah does business. And this has been the same way from the past. وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا. And you will not find the laws of Allah to be changing. It's always constant. And if you look to the creation, you find, for example, there are certain laws that you have to submit to. You have to know how they work and you have to submit to it. For example, gravity. You know, gravity is working whether you like it to work or you don't like it to work. It's a law from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's laws of physics, there's laws of biology, there's laws of chemistry, there's laws in every aspect of our life. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, whether you have a choice or you don't have a choice, you're submitting to some of my laws. Somebody who doesn't know how gravity works, he may walk out of the 10th floor, what's going to happen? He's going to fall to his death. So we have to learn how these laws work. We have to learn the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we have to work with it. We have to submit to it. Ya Allah, the gravity you created, I submit. So if I want to fly, I get on the airplane. I don't jump off the building. And so once we learn these laws, we can use them for our benefit. But if we don't know them and we go against them, they can harm us. In the same way, there's laws in the creation, in the physical realm. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us that there are laws that are governing the spiritual realms. For example, Iblis gave us a nice example of one of them. The scholars just said, whoever elevates himself, whoever becomes arrogant, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will debase him. And whoever humbles himself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will elevate him. And if you look at the example of Iblis, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told everybody that was in the gathering, he said, bow down to Adam. Iblis stood up and said, Ana khayrun min, I'm better than this guy. خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ خَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. You created me from fire, you created him from dirt. I'm not going to bow down to dirt. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, get out of here. فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. You've been cut off now from my mercy. Why? Because he claimed something he was not. He claimed arrogance, he claimed position. The scholar said, whoever claims a level with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will be taken away from them. And on the other hand, Adam alayhi salam, he also disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was asked, so Adam, why did you eat from the tree when I told you not to eat? He said, رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا. Oh Allah, we wronged ourselves. فَإِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. If you don't have mercy on us and forgive us, we will be of the losers. He humbled himself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated him. Somebody asked a question. Why does 1,000 rivers bow down and submit themselves to the ocean? You know, if you look at the rivers, they're all coming down towards the ocean. The reason he said, because the ocean stays lower than the rest. The ocean, it gets its power because it's lower than the rest. So, you know, there's the law that whoever becomes arrogant, Allah will debase them. Whoever becomes humble, Allah will elevate them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says His servants, Ibadur Rahman, are those who walk on the earth with humbleness. They're humble people. Many people can become arrogant for many different reasons. Because of the knowledge we have. Because of our wealth, because of our beauty, because of our status. All these are temporary things and they can be taken away.